Welcome to a drop of happy, where we focus on carefree, stress well, light and lively living while loving and reviewing entertainment art tidbits. I'm your host, Wanda Toby, aka Stress Management Coach, aka Missing in Action, aka need to take her own advice but doesn't. There's no article today. There's no post, website, or whatever that I'm reading from. Just wanted to drop in and remind my listeners, or if you happen to be listening or tuning in, to not forget about yourself. I think one of the things when we think about stress management is getting things done, right? Getting things done off our list. List? Did I say list? List. Getting things done off our list, especially if you're good at creating to-do lists and all that good stuff. So for some that provides comfort, right? But I just wanted to come on here and remind folks not to lose themselves in that process of getting things done. And I say that because I write, I podcast, I blog, I whatever, because it's my way of stress relief. It's something that I love to do. It keeps me connected with the arts and my creative side. And if you've listened to me before, you know I'm a big proponent of the arts. Obviously, from the podcast title, big proponent of the arts and channeling your creativity to help with stress management. Creativity, tapping into your imagination, all that, because it helps you escape and distract, and also been found to increase the good stress relief hormones. So with that being said, I haven't done any of those things like I normally do because I decided, for whatever reason, to take on a new adventure, if you could call it that. So I decided to go back to school and work on a second master's degree because my degrees that I have already aren't enough. Don't ask me why I did that. I think I'm just going crazy. But in that endeavor, I definitely have sacrificed some of those things that have brought me joy in the past. And then you do have to give up some things, like when you start a new task or you set a new goal, a new challenge. You have to be able to juggle some things. You have to rearrange things. And sometimes in that process, we cut out the things that brought us joy, the things that kept us grounded, the things that helped with the stress management, because we're more focused on getting the task at hand done. And then when we cut those things away, we put ourselves in jeopardy to enter into a stress cycle, right? And then, of course, that can become chronic stress, and then we can become unhealthy and just all that. We get into that cycle. So somehow we have to find a way to balance the new thing while still feeding ourselves and nourishing ourselves and doing those things that give us an outlet One example is I had a friend that also went back to school, and all the things that she used to do, she cut them out. Like all the things she used to, like she used to exercise. She would go like take little mini trips and things like that. She ended up cutting those things out for the sake of finishing the program. Just very, very similar to myself. I cut out reading as much because I have to read school books, so I can't read for pleasure like I normally do. I definitely cut out blogging like I normally do and doing the show like I normally do. The one thing that I'm pretty proud of myself that I've been able to stick with is the gym and working out. I think that's one thing that has kept me somewhat sane, even though that's a pretty big time consumer. And when your schedule is jam packed, every minute counts, every little bit of time counts. But that's just something that I have been able to stick to, and I'm afraid, when you stop for a week or so, then it's like, for me anyway, that's a sound of it exploding, because then you have to start all over again. Like all the work you did is just gone and you have to start all over again. So I'm hoping to keep the momentum going. So I fear just a little bit of taking a break will derail me. So I've been able to keep that up. But as I mentioned before, a lot of the other things I haven't been. And so I just really, really want to remind you all to somehow, when you're making your plan, when you're making your schedule or what have you, to include nurturing yourself. Of course, it's going to look different than it did before, right? It's not going to look the same. And that's okay. But try not to cut you out completely. Try not to cut the nurturing that you did before completely for the sake of getting the thing done. Because you can be putting yourself in jeopardy not to get the thing done at all. Or it would be that much more difficult to get the thing done, whatever it is. As opposed to if you took care of yourself and nurtured yourself and made sure that you still had some stress relieving outlets, you'd be able to handle getting the thing done more easily. So I had some time before bed because for some reason I just can't go to sleep, and thought, let me come on here and share this and remind you to continue to love yourself and nurture yourself. And let's say you haven't been doing that at all. Take this as your moment, your sign, your intervention, whatever you want to call it, to pause and reflect on, how can I take care of myself and put my health and my well-being and my mental wellness first, so that handling all of these other tasks can be a little bit smoother, and I don't find myself headed to somebody's doctor's office or emergency room or what have you, because I'm overwhelmed and focusing on, the task at hand. Because it's important, and you're important, and you're worthy of the work just by virtue of you breathing. So thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Thanks for listening. Please, please, please share with anybody that you think might find this helpful. and come back and listen to some of the other stuff. I hope to be back. I hope that this is like my own wake up call, so I too can get back on track, even though life and the schedule looks crazy. I'm hoping that I too will just get back to taking care of me, or remembering to take care of me. In the meantime, between time, don't forget to enjoy the little things, notice the little things, and live light and stress well.